meeting is being recorded.
It is indeed being recorded. All right, I'll just change to gallery view so I can see both of us. There we go. All right, so start with the warm up. Going from head down. So just gentle side to side, just very slow, letting a nice long stretch down that side of the neck. Just lace your fingers together, place them behind the crown of your head, and just gently let the weight of them stretch out your spine and your neck. So you're not pulling down, you're just letting gravity do its work. Keeping your hands there, just bring your elbows out and up. So coming up, pulling the elbows back. So you're basically opening up the pectoral muscles here. Put your feet a little bit wider. And as you breathe out, turn to the side. Breathing in, come back to center. Breathe out. And in. And out. And in. And out. And in. Just giving some shoulder rolls. Nice, as big circles as you can with the shoulders. Really try and touch those ears and coming the other way. Reaching out with the arms. So I've got my palms down towards the floor, so not face up, but face down. So I just want you to imagine that there's something sitting underneath your arms here that you're pushing against. So imagine you're in the ocean, you're pushing yourself against the water. So as you stretch your fingers out, really tighten up the arm muscles, and you can create a resistance that way and just start warming up the arms. So it doesn't have to be fast, just really trying to push against that imaginary force. You should be starting to feel that in the arms now. And turning palm up, and now we're going the other way. So trying to lift as if you've got a weight on your palms of your hands. So the more tension you create in those arms, the better they'll warm up. And relax. Hip circles. So round and round, little old merry-go-round. And coming back that way. Little knee circles. So, back and forward rather. So just a very gentle movement. Doesn't have to be fast. Better to do them slow and just let the muscles warm up. Just try and make sure that your knees are coming directly over your toes. They're not sort of going out or inwards.
Yeah.
That's always a problem for a lot of people is the knees do not like following the toes unless you think about it.
Yeah.
And let's just do a few little calf raises. So if you need to find something to balance with, but just basically coming up on the toes and coming down. So keep the legs straight, pulling it in through the backside, through your center, reaching up towards the sky with your whole body. And think about trying to keep the weight up between the big toe and the second toe. That'll help keep everything coming straight forward. And again, will help the knees from shifting out or inwards.
Which toes?
The big toe and the second toe.
Right.
So kind of where the big pad underneath the big toe is. That's kind of where you're aiming your balance and your weight towards it to come up.
Yep.
And just sort of kind of one knee at a time. If you want to do a little bit more, you can do it as a bit of a wider, so one up and one down. We'll swap over the sides as well. And change sides. Right. Give the ankles a bit of a roll, a bit of a circle. And on the other side. Okay. And I forgot to take my shoes off, which will make my life a lot easier in a minute. So what I wanted to do is to spend a little bit of time or extra time working on our leg muscles.
Right.
So the quads, the hamstrings, the ankles, because they're what drive our forward movement and our backward movement. And I know a lot of people have trouble sometimes properly generating that power. And a lot of time it's just we just need to build up the muscles around it. So I'm just going to lower the camera a little bit. So this is going to be a little bit more helpful if you've got something you can lean against sometimes just to balance. So if you've got a chair or table, I'm going to bring that out just so you can see what I'm doing.
Right.
All right. So this is a bit similar to the calf raises we were doing before. So we are going to start pretty much with the same thing, but I really want you to focus on your leg position. So making sure that your feet are basically hip width apart. They're not right next to each other, so you can do that first. This gives you a bit more stability. And you want to make sure that the toes are turned so that your knees, when they bend, are naturally going straight forward over the toes. So you don't want the toes going out to the side to make kind of more of a plie. So you don't want this yet.
Yep.
You want forward motion.
Gotcha.
So just are you using something to balance with?
Yep. Yeah, I've got a chair just there.
That's okay. I just realized I should probably spotlight my screen for you all because I'm really bad about remembering to do that. Hey, Kaylin.
Here I am. Just a moment.
Okay. All good. We're just doing some extra sort of leg work to help build up the muscles for generating power when you move. So as I said, feet facing forward, right over right underneath the hips, knees directly across them. So we're going to start with just a gentle bend. So we're keeping the feet flat on the floor. Try and bend as deep as you can so you can start feeling it up here in the back of the calves. And those gently come up. So very, very slow movement. What we're doing is we're warming up those lower calves. The rest of your body really isn't doing anything at this point. Do a couple more. They're starting to feel a bit warm.
That's nice. It's good.
Yeah.
Not doing it hard enough, you reckon?
No. It's good. It should just be gently warming them up. What we do after this is where it starts getting a bit painful. I should know my backside has been hurting for 2 days from when I did this last. So this next one, we're doing more of the calf raises again. So again, just make sure that your feet are underneath your hips.
Yep.
What I'm trying to do is make sure that all the movement is just coming from the toes and the calf muscles. The rest of your body just isn't doing anything. Let your hands relax if you're using something to lean against. And really focus on, from here, let your weight go forward over those toes. And then push through the balls of your feet to raise you up. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your calves, squeeze your backside up the top here. And then gently roll it down. You're just going to speed that up a little bit. So coming up, rolling it down, up, and down. So you're focusing all your attention on the balls of your feet, doing the work here. Okay. Everything else, basically having a bit of a chill pill, bit of a relax. So it should be starting to get a little bit warm now. Just speed it up a bit. So up and down, up and down, up and down. Let me know when you start really feeling it, or when you start wishing that I'd say stop. You should be feeling a certain amount of warmth in the calf at the moment.
Yeah, it's more around the feet pushing upwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So think about squeezing your legs all the way up. So from your backside down through your calf muscles. Yeah, starting to feel a bit more warm there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because we're activating everything along that line. How are we doing?
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I want you to come up. We're going to stay here, and now we're going to bend the knees forward while we're still up on the toes.
Right.
So come up, staying on the toes, then bending the knees. So again, focusing on the knees going forward. So here it's just basically the hips and the knees relaxing. Now I want you to tighten the backside and the thighs as you come up. And this is just warming up the legs, really starting to activate those muscles that we use to support everything. And if you can imagine just coming down into this low position, this is kind of the energy that you're generating off the balls of your feet when you push forward or backward.
Yeah, that's
Start to
tricky.
feel
That
it?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is why I suggest having something to balance with. When you're feeling comfortable, you can do it without, but honestly, you get to the point where you're going, I want to stop now, and this chair's the only thing keeping me up. So do one more. Come up, and then just gently roll down. Give the legs a shake out.
Yeah.
They're feeling pretty warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If at any time any of this is feeling more painful than more of a stretch or a workout, feel free to stop or modify or let me know. Because I don't want anyone getting hurt by it either. So just give the toes a bit of a warm up too. And you can hold on to the chair if you want for this one. You're literally just doing a kind of lunge. So if you are using the chair, it's literally just coming back. Wide stance, both feet facing forwards. So knees are going to go straight forward.
Yep.
We're just going to try and make the body go straight down and then come straight up through that center. And again, if you're not comfortable with it, this is why the chair or table is a good option, or the wall. So as we come down, relax. As we come up, think about squeezing the butt and the thighs, the calves. So we're just trying to control our movements. And we're going to swap sides. A nice wide stance. And down we go. So breathe in as you come down, breathe out as you come up. Breathe in as you go down, breathe out as you come up. Do one more. Okay. How warm are your legs feeling?
Yeah, pretty warm.
Yeah,
Good.
pretty warm, yeah.
All
Okay.
So taking up from there, we're just going to do a little bit of footwork before we get into anything else. So whatever space you've got doesn't have to be very far. So whether you're doing it from Jukendo or Tankendo position, it doesn't really matter at this point, so you'll swap sides. What I want you to do is set up your kamae. So front foot forward, back foot 65 degrees. And all I really want you to do is push and push, push and push. So we're going backwards and forwards and really thinking about pushing off from the balls of the feet each time. So it doesn't have to be fast, but I want each one to be focused on that power generation. And then what we'll do is we're going to try and, if you've got the room, do two. Even if they're small, that's fine. Couple more. All right, shake that out. Change kamae. So whichever side you're going to do, or you did, change over. Again, check your kamae, check your tummy, bend the knees. I'm just going to do singles. While you're doing this, also take the time to think about, is the other leg coming in underneath quickly? So if I'm going forward, is my back leg coming in fast enough? And if I'm going backwards, is my front leg coming back underneath me fast enough? And try for two. Couple more. Last one. And shake it out. How's that all feeling?
Yeah, nice and warmed up.
Good. Well, the bottom half is, the top half's probably feeling a bit chilly now. What we'll do, we'll grab the, oh, Kaylin, do you have any preference for Juken or Mokuju tonight? Sorry, Juken or Tanken?
Not really.
Okay. All right, well, let's just start with a little bit of Juken. And that'll help warm up the upper body, if nothing else. If you need to grab a drink after that. And Mokuju time. So, very, very simple basics. We're now combining the footwork with the arms. All we're really going to do to start with is just single ski and back. So focusing on the same things we were doing with foot weight before, power generation. You don't even need to think about your upper body so much, so don't let it tense up. It's just going to do its thing. So take the time also to consider your fumikomi, which is obviously a lot harder if you're on carpet or anything else.
Yep.
Or if you've got shoes on or socks on. Couple more. Good. Roll it out. Next thing we're going to do, sorry, I have to be careful where I stand because the light shifts quite a lot.
Yep.
So this time we're going to do my ski and then to retreat. My ski to retreat. So again, warming up the legs, starting to get a few more steps in. If you don't have a lot of room, again, very small steps is fine. If you need to just go to one and then one retreat, whatever works. So again, in your own time, hajime, my ski, and withdraw. Yeah. 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 Two more. Yeah. Yeah. Roll it out, shake it out. Okay. So, depending on how much room you've got, you can try teeny tiny nagashi. So it's kimae. Remember, 3 steps is kind of the average step work for nagashi. Feel free to do less if you need to in this space. Shouldn't be doing more than 5. So really be focused on once you've made the ski, trying to keep this still a threat. So don't let it drop, don't let it wobble. Keep it directed on target, even if it's not touching target, for example. And just really try and make a nice strong nagashi, and then a withdrawal as well. So what we're going to have is basically, and then withdraw. So 2 steps, 3 steps, whatever your space needs. Again, in your own time, change the pace as you need to. Hajime. Yeah. 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 2 more. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Roll it out. Take a breath. Grab some water if you need it. I could do with some. Alrighty. So what I want to do is a little bit of just, I guess, reaction work. Obviously, it's a little bit harder when we're doing on Zoom. But I want, when you see me attack, to go right ski or step off to the side and go ski. So whichever option you like. The idea is you're seeing someone just going, yeah. What you do is up to you. Hurrah, or step off to the side and come in for ski, whatever you want to practice. But basically, whenever you see me attack, you make a counter attack. Hajime. Yeah. 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 it out. I'm going to give both of you a bit of a break and we'll take turns at this. So who wants to be providing the initial slide?
Yeah.
Michael, okay. So I'm going to replace you as the spotlight. All righty. And you can call, you can call Yame whenever you like.
Hajime. Yeah.
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 Yeah, mate.
Hey, good. All right. Time for Kaylin's moment in the sun. Let me just spotlight you.
All right.
There we go.
Oh,
Right.
Yep, just a moment. I will just switch there. That way the light isn't directly shining, so you can see me easily. Did you make?
Yeah.
Yep.
Up.
Yeah.
Go.
Up.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
Up.
Yo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Up.
Yeah.
Yo.
You mate?
Good. All righty. Grab yourselves a drink. You need one? I will take back the spotlight because I am. I can say spotlight.
All
That really sounds
powerful.
terrible.
All powerful. Yeah.
You're all powerful. Yeah, that's a much better description. All righty. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run through a couple of kata. So the last few weeks, I've been making someone else basically teach the kata.
Oof.
So Michael had that fun last week. So I'm not sure if Ken's going to grab a drink.
Yeah.
But I think we'll make Kaylin do it.
Hooray.
So I am going to just wait till he's back on light. There we are. See you, Kaylin. So Kaylin, guess what? You're going back in the spotlight this week.
Hi.
What we've been doing the last couple of weeks is pretty much I've been having some time talk us through a kata or several katas.
Hey.
So Michael did it last week, Eduardo the week before. What I want you to do is you can pick any two kata from the Jutaiju.
Hi.
And I just want you to talk it through as if you were teaching it to someone who's a beginner, who knew what the techniques were, but didn't know the order.
Hmm.
You know how sometimes I talk them through? That's basically what I want you to practice at. So this is just a good way to ingrain the kata, which I know you know them pretty well anyway. And I will let you choose which two kata you want to do.
Hi.
You can pick one now and pick the other one later.
Oh, let me think. First we bow.
Okay.
We'll be doing kata number 1 first.
Okay.
The she begins, well, everyone begins in Chudan no Kamae.
Okay. For this round, you'll be the uchi, Michael and I'll be the shikata.
Yeah. Hi. So first one is winning. It's basically winning when you both approach each other in Chudan. So the first thing that happens is that the uchi and she will both take 3 large steps in to meet each other. And then the uchi will make a mistake, will present an opening.
Okay.
Then she strikes through that opening.
Yeah.
Then they withdraw, taking a large step, drawing back into Chudan. And then, to illustrate Zanshin, they direct their weapon at my kote to show that they're paying attention to me.
Right.
Then we come back to Chudan together. Then we lower our weapons to, I believe it's Gedan.
Right.
Yep. Then we take 5 small steps back to our original positions.
Good. All right, we'll do that one more time. So again, now that you've had the practice with the explanation, we'll run it through. So again.
Hi.
What do we do?
There
What
we
should
are.
I be doing? What should I be doing to you?
Oh, strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. And we come back to Chudan. And I move back to Chudan, and we'll be together, crossing Tampo. And then now we come back down together. And then 5 steps back.
Generally pretty good as an explanation. So you're very clear. You're trying to cover everything. And it is hard when you're trying to run through both parts in your head at the same time. So explaining it which way, explain the shidachi. All right. Second card, which one would you like to do?
Well, we can do number 4 then.
Okay.
Okay.
Because they're the best to pair with each other. It is a kata that is the response to number 1.
Oh, you
The
mean number
response
5?
to, yeah, your opponent trying to take advantage of a weakness in your defenses by use of harai, like striking their opponent's weapon. Right. We approach again, both in Chudan. Take 3 steps in. And you will be making an opening as I did. However, this opening will be a setup to do a high and then strike. So you will do the opening, and then I will attempt to take advantage of the opening and strike up, and then you harai, and then strike.
Yeah.
And then withdraw on 1 large step, then illustrate Zanshin in the same way. Then I retreat back to correct distance in Chudan. Done. And then 5 steps back.
Good. We'll run it once more.
Hi. All right.
What should we do?
Yes. Opening. Yeah.
Ski. Yeah. I will get the name right.
Hey. All right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know your kata, which helps. So it makes it much easier when you're making explanations. Alrighty, we're just past half past the hour. Do you want to keep on Juken or do you want to move to Tanken for a bit?
Let me think. Sure, we can go into Tankendo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, grab a quick drink if you need it, and we will change weapons.
Is there somebody at your door, Caleb?
No.
Alrighty. Okay, so a bit like we did to start with the mokuju, we're going to do a little bit of leg and arm work, just warming everything up. It may have gotten a little bit cold during kata. So we're just starting with single dort straight, and then retreat, retreat. So making sure that the arm isn't kind of extending too much, not hyperflexing. It's more about the elbow coming up.
Yes.
And it's just a small step. So also just making sure that the upper body really isn't doing anything. The right arm's moving, but everything else is basically staying still. So take a chance just to focus on your technique. Two more. And roll it out. Okay, so again, this time we're doing more of my ski and then a couple of retreat steps. So you're basically keeping the legs moving under you a bit like a duck in the water, let them paddle furiously, while the upper body is nice and serene apart from that little stab and withdrawal. Remember to breathe, but get those duck legs swimming. Hajime. Ah, 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 yup, 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 two more, yup, yup. Good, roll it out, grab a drink if you need to. The legs are hopefully a little bit tingly now.
Yeah, nice and warm.
Good. Good. All the calf raises we did earlier. You're still feeling the effect. All right, so let's run through Daiichi Kyosho. So, do, men, nodo, kote, harai, tsuki. Again, if you don't have the room, come back after each one. If you do have the room or a bit of room, you can do the forward movement of it as well, whatever you need to. Again, don't worry if you muck up the order, as long as you hit all of the techniques. I'll call them out. Hopefully I get them in the right order for you.
Hey.
So starting in Shudan, we're going for do, ya. Going for men, ya. Going for nodo, ya. Going for kote, ya. Right ski, ya. And again, do, ya. Men, ya. Nodo, ya. Kote, ya. Right ski, ya. Once more, do, ya. Men, ya. Nodo, ya. Kote, ya. Right, ya. Last one, do, ya. Men, ya. Nodo, ya. Kote, ya. All right, ya. Good. Just going to do a little bit of wrist limbering for your harai. So make sure your kama is proper. Keep your body still and upright. Focus on where your right elbow is and try and keep the right elbow and shoulder where they are. And just focus on coming down in the angle with the wrist from each side, and that tenuch as you hit center. So the less you show off what you're doing, the better chance of you actually having to make it work. And now just extend it a little bit so the elbow will start to come into a play a little bit. This is more about us reaching through. So not letting it come out too far, but allowing you to make that extra extension as you step forward on the ski. Remember, you don't actually have to travel very far with Tankendo because you're pretty close to start with. We'll try it the other way now, which is with the harai and then step through with the ski. So this one, you're relying on your body pitch. So coming forward onto that front leg and extending a little bit with that arm, that elbow forward. So not too far, don't get the shoulder involved, but just extending it out. So instead of here, it's here. So if you're trying to visualize where that tsubo would be, that'll just help you figure out how far you need to really extend your reach. Your wrist should be getting nice and warm at this point. And relax. All right, what's the time? Okay. Is there any techniques in Tanken that either of you particularly want to focus on right now?
Technique. Memorizing some of the kata would be useful.
Yeah.
Is there any of the kata in particular that you're having trouble with the order, or is it just the general order?
Probably just the general order, I think,
Okay.
for myself. I'm not sure about Kalen.
Yeah.
He's got a better memory than me.
That's okay. Look, it took me a while to remember them too. So I have to look good in front of you all. So I spend a lot of time telling myself what the kata are. All right, so let's have a look at some of the Tanken kata. We'll change to Kadachi if you've got it.
Yes.
So let's go through a review. So
Oh, mate.
what is Ippon-me? Tan-tai-tan. What is the technique?
Nodo.
Okay. What about for Nihon-me?
Nihome. Men down to the chin, pushing forward, retreating.
Okay.
Retreating this way or just back that way? Can't remember.
One big step back.
One big step back.
No, sorry, it's a few steps back on number 2. All right, what's the technique for number 3? What technique are we showing?
Are we doing? It would be kote.
Yes, it would be kote.
Yes.
Number 4.
That's
This is where we start getting interesting techniques.
It's a straight strike to the, but stepping offline to attack. Straight into the.
Haraitsuki.
Haraitsuki nodo. So if you think about it, we're doing a progression again. So while normally you'd start with do, for some reason they've gone straight for nodo, for number 1. After that, the next technique, okay, it's not a common one, but men is the next kind of viable target. Kote, if you think about it, was a late addition. So it's kind of sandwiched in as number 3.
Right.
So it's the last of the kind of basic techniques before we start getting things a little bit more complex. Number 4, we're showing off our harai. We happen to be stepping off the line as well, but we are technically just showing off harai. Number 5, we're showing off suwarete men. So it's a timing technique. And again, you shouldn't be using it very often. It shouldn't come into play all that often. 6, 7, and 8, are we getting into the harai? That's what the irimi seitai. And that's just about directionality and the type of irimi seitai. So with the first 5, what you really just need to remember is we are still just showing off some very simple techniques to start, getting more complex, and then finishing up with the irimi seitai for 6 and 8. So we have nodo. So nodo, men, kote, harai, suwarete, irimi, irimi, irimi. And I know that's not going to stick because it never sticks. It takes a while. But if you just try and think about, okay, what are the simple ones? And they'll be the first 3. Then we get into slightly more complex techniques, and that's 4 and 5. And 6 through 8 are irimi seitai. So if you start breaking them down into kind of basic, medium, complex, it may help you just sandwich them together because it make a little bit more sense to which ones come next.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Cool.
So, look, there's so many ways you can try and remember it. I'm just thinking that might be a nice way to bundle them, as it were.
Okay.
So let's have a look. We'll go through Ippon-me. I'll try not to do too much talky today. I do that a lot. We're starting in Chudan. So we're showing off, again, I'll be uchi. We'll be showing off nodo. So We both come in at Chudan, Ich, Ni, San. Tell me what I do. What do I do?
Nothing. I think we just attack, don't we?
No.
You're thinking number 2.
Opening.
So you need to provide an opening.
Yeah, so I kind of, I'm about to attack and you take opportunity.
Right. Okay.
So my lovely throat, which is right here. And then a big retreat. Zanshin. And come back to center. So 1 and 4 are the only ones you have that big step back. Everything else you walk away from or withdraw carefully from. And that's more just a habit of remembering which one's are which. All right, we'll do that one again. So Ipome, starting Chudan, Ich, Ni, San. And it makes sense that in order for something to happen, I have to create an opening. And come back to center. We open to Gedan, both hands down, withdraw. Okay, so we're going to look at Nihonme. So Nihonme is the first time we change Kamai. So you'll see Ms. Uchi, I drop down to Gedan. Your reasoning here is you want to cover my weapon. And so Irami, Chudan Irami is the most sensible option. So anytime you see this, chances are you're going into Irami Seipai for the early Kata. We come in 3 steps, Ich, Ni, San. And there's a tiny gap between us. So we are showing off men for this one. You tell me what I do. So I'm going to turn this phone off. Sorry. I don't know why people keep trying to call me during class. So what am I going to do from here? Down and get it.
You put your hand out as we strike, basically.
Yeah. So technically, I don't do anything until you attack.
Yeah.
So you come in and attack men. I move the arm out of the way so you don't get stabbed in the groin. What happens now? You're bringing it down.
Yep. Down the face. Pushing forward. And then withdrawing, covering the kote.
Right. And I walk us back to center. Gedan. Withdraw. Back to Chudan. So again, Nihonme. I drop into Gedan, which is a signal for you to cover my weapon. We cover in 3 steps. Ich, Ni, San. From here, I don't do anything. You take advantage and go for men. And I open up slightly. You come down my face, pressuring my center line until you reach my throat. I withdraw and you cover me. You then finish Zanshin by covering my arm as you retreat back to Chudan, and I meet you back at center. We go into Gedan and withdraw. So basically the way I talk this out is I'm basically just doing a running commentary in my mind. So I have my own little, commentary box, and I'm just telling you exactly what we're doing. So when it comes to you trying to explain them, literally just commentary everything. All right, Sambome. So Sambome, we're showing off kote.
Yep.
Which he drops down to Gedan, which again is your signal to cover their weapon. We come in 3 steps. Ich, Ni, San. Now, in order for you to get my kote, you're going to have to do something to make me raise my wrist.
So I come forward, thrusting forward.
Yep. So it's kind of like a feint, and I'll come up and gently meet it, which allows you to come over onto kote.
Yep.
I make sure this isn't too high because you're going to follow through and put pressure on my nod. And now you can withdraw. And we come back to center. Get on and retreat. Chudan.
Okay.
And again, I've gone to Gedan, so you'll cover. Ich, Ni, San. You need to make me raise my wrist, so you come in towards my chest. I flex up here. You come over the top, and then through to my throat. My arm as you withdraw. And we walk it back. Gedan and retreat. Okay. Your home, number 4. So this is the first of the complex techniques. We start in Shudan, both of us. Ich, ni, san. I initiate. And your response is, all right, speak. You're then going to do one big step back. Step into cover kote, zanshin, and then we come back to Chudan. Gedan. And retreat. So number 1 and number 4 have quite a few similarities. Both of them, you both start in Shudan. For both of them, for the Shidachi, after you've done the main attack, you do a big step withdrawal. So if you can remember that number 1 and number 4 are very similar in that respect, it will help you track what your kamae are as well. So do number 4 again, both in Shudan. Ich, ni, san. No. Good. Big step, little step. And then back to my gedan and withdraw. Okay, we're getting to the second of the complex techniques. Suwarete men. So uchi, this should make it very clear what's about to happen. They've gone up to Jordan. So you'll do irimi, but it'll be slightly higher, so you're pointing at my kote, you're pointing at my weapon. They come in 3 steps. Ich, ni, san. You stay solid as a rock, men. And you knock my arm out of the sky for men. You're going to come down to about here. Jordan. Backwards, good. And then we both come back to center. Gedan. Retreat. So as long as you remember there are 2 Jordan positions, it'll help you remember who's doing what. So again, which shows you exactly what's coming. Cover the kote. Ich, ni, san, ya. Good. We come back to center. Shudan. And withdraw. Together. Okay, I'm just going to check the time. All right, so quick revision. What is Ipomme?
Ipomme, attacking Noro.
Okay, and what kamae do we start in?
Shudan Kamae for both.
Okay, and with the withdrawal, is it a slow withdrawal or is it one step?
One large step.
Okay, good. Nihonme. What is Nihonme targeting?
The uchi is in Gedan. Is it Gedan? Gedan. Yeah, okay. and the
uchi
is in Irimi Seta. Yeah.
Chudan Irimi. I say Irimi Seta as well. Chudan Irimi.
Irimi. Yeah.
What technique is the Shidachi showing off?
Men.
Men attack.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. And the withdrawal, one big one or a slow withdrawal?
Stepping back.
Good. Sambome, number 3. What technique are we showing?
Kote.
What kamaes do we start in?
Go down and against Irimi.
Yep. Nice. And again, the retreat.
Is stepping back, covering kote.
Okay, so now we're getting into the medium complexity, kata, 4 and 5. So number 4, what technique are we displaying? Continue on from.
Oh, is it not? No, it's.
It starts with a door.
Yeah.
What's the words, Kaylin?
Yeah, it's a fake. You fake a strike to door and it kote, and then you follow through. Right?
You're doing Haraitsuki.
That's.
Oh wait! I thought we were still on number 3.
No, number 4. Number 4.
Okay.
So number 4, what kamae do we start?
Both in Chudan.
Both in Chudan. Yeah.
Walkie in. Uchi, ya. So Haraitsuki.
Haraitsuki to the nodo, is it?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yep.
What is the withdrawal?
It's one large.
One awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, suwarete. I've just told you what it is. Number 5, the technique is.
It must be. She's pointing at you, Caleb.
Hmm?
So technique number 5, the last of the medium complexity.
It's starting in Jordan.
Yeah.
And the attack will be Jordan Irumi.
Me.
It's a men cut.
Suwaria.
Yeah.
Men, suwarete,
Suwarete
men.
Yeah.
That's okay. Don't worry if you don't have all the terms. Sometimes just a hand gesture will help. But basically, you're showing you can deflect a men strike to do your own men strike. So the retreat from there, is it one big or several slow withdrawals?
I think that's stepping rather than a one big step. It's a withdrawal to Jordan, which one must be one big step.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So again, ippome, what's the technique?
Nodo.
Yeah, nodo.
Nihonme, what's the technique?
Men. Yeah.
Sanbonme, what's the technique?
Kote.
Okay.
Medium complexity ones, 4 and 5, what are the techniques?
It's a harai ski. Yeah.
And number 5?
Men.
Suwaria men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suwaria men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Caleb.
Good. That's right. So the first 3, the simple ones, what are the 3 techniques? Doesn't have to be in order. What are the 3 simple techniques?
The technique we're demonstrating is Noroski, men, and then kote.
Good. To medium complexity, what techniques are we showing off?
Harai ski, yeah. And men, suarete, men.
Yeah.
Good. All right, good. They're getting there. They're getting there.
Yeah.
So it will take a while. But again, if it helps you to break it down to 1 and 3, very simple. It's about a basic cut. You know, a nodo for us, a men cut, a kote attack. 3 very simple techniques, basic techniques. 4 and 5, medium complexity, we're looking at harai. So harai is a more complex technique than just an attack. And suwarete men, again, is more complex. 6, 7, and 8, then we're getting to the irimi setai, which, again, another level of complexity. So with 6, 7, and 8, can you remember, if you're the shidachi, which way do you want to pressure them? What's the order you want to pressure them in for 6, 7, and 8? So you step in and you pressure.
My left, their right, is it? So that
if you're the shidachi, you're pressuring to your right.
To the right, so that they want to come back left, and then
Exactly.
then blocking over, coming around and under.
That's actually number 7. You're mixing up 6. That's okay. Irimi setai is like that. So number 6, you're coming in. You're both in chudan. You pressure to your right. They step out to your left because this is open. They come in for your door. Harai. Ski. Number 7, which way do I pressure?
I must be to the left.
Good.
So that they come out to the right. Then we block there and then
come underneath. Yeah. So number 7 is the only time you both start in Geidan. So you come in, Geidan, you pressure them to the left. They step out to your right. They come in under here, you block, which makes it the natural one to come into that irimi setai. So number 8, the final of the irimi setai. Where do we pressure?
Down.
We've gone right, we've gone left, down, yes. So we've gone right, we've gone left, we pressure down, they step back, they come for men, and we block men and ski. So if you can remember that order, and it kind of helps if you're right-handed because that's the dominant front. If you're left-handed, it's not necessarily as common. It's more of a learned trait, but pressure to the right, pressure to the left, pressure down, and that determines your irimi setai. So number 6, so the irimi setai kamaes are always a bit weak compared to the rest. So number 6, you both start in chudan, which is fine. So 1, 4, and 6 will start in chudan. Number 7, you both start in Geidan, which is the only time that happens. And number 8, Geidan and irimi, depending on which side you're on. So for most part, you either have everyone in chudan, or you have a Gedan and an Irimi. You do have a Jodan and an Irimi. You have 2 Gedans. So it's kind of remembering which one it is. And I said it only really gets complex with 6, 7, and 8. So both Chudan, both Gedan, and then a Gedan and Irimi. Which I guess isn't that complex. I don't know why I thought it was. 7 is the weird one, really.
Yeah.
That's right. So Ipponme, both in Chudan. Number 4, both in Chudan. Number 6, both in Chudan. Number 2, Gedan and Irimi. Number 3, Gedan and Irimi. Number 8, Gedan and Irimi. Number 5, Jodan, Hai Irimi. Number 7, we're back down to Gedan. So there's not a lot of combinations, but they make sense for the technique you're showing off more than anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you think about Ipponme, it's a very basic technique. All you're doing is waiting for someone to open, so all you need is a Chudan to Chudan. For men, you need to have someone down so that men is open, which means Uchi is going to be down. You'll be covered with Irimi. Number 3, you need to find a way to convince them to bring up that wrist, so they have to be starting low. So again, that's a Gedan and Irimi. Number 4, we're doing Dortski. So the most common one for anytime we do Dort strike is we both Chudan. Chudan, right ski. Number 5, you're doing men. Someone has to be in Jodan. You can't get a hand. Someone's in Jodan. Number 6, coming to the Irimi Seitai. So the first one, very basic one, start both up, Chudan. Number 7, getting weird, both in Gedan. And then by the time we get to number 8, it's kind of normal, Chudan, Gedan and Irimi.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
don't expect you to remember all of it.
No,
honestly.
but no, it was good. It was good for the memory. Thanks, thanks, Em, and thanks, Kaylin, for for working on that too.
Yeah.
Right.
I know we probably cooled down a little bit in this last part, just doing the kata, but again, it's good to just go over them. And hopefully all the calf raises I made you do at the start meant that you felt like you had a little bit more of a workout.
Yep, it did.
So just make sure to give yourselves a bit of a stretch, because depending on how hard you did those calf raises, your glutes are going to be telling you off later, or
Right.
tomorrow, or even the day after.
Okay.
So just give them a good stretch. Even repeating the exercises tomorrow might help, but they're really good for just strengthening sort of the lower leg muscles, which is what you need to help generate that movement and that speed. So yeah, they're just good little exercises, and they're a good way to warm up the body.
Yeah, no, it was good. So thank you very much, Emily.
No, thank you. It's good to see you both.
Yeah, nice to see you. And good luck with the work that you're working on too.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. So, sorry,